Does look as though they're shaping up with that front three. Here come PSG on the attack, and City looking rather exposed into the box. Go the Parisians, and a shot there from Neymar is saved by Ederson. Just off balance, forced onto his weaker left foot. Couldn't really get the purchase on the ball. Ederson more than comfortable in stopping that one. That's what City will have to be wary of tonight. That's how Bayern Munich were exposed by PSG. Barcelona likewise, they've had a tough run, you would say, in terms of some of the big names they've had to overcome to get to this stage. The Parisians, and it's the pace, their ability to go through the thirds that has proved so deadly and potent over the course of this Champions League campaign. A real motivation you feel throughout the squad to go one better than they did last season. Under new management, of course, now. Could potentially come up against their former manager if they get through this two-legged affair with City. Thomas Tuchel now at Chelsea, and they drew 1-1 at Real Madrid last night in the first leg of their semi-final. Here are Manchester City attempting to build just on the halfway line. Riyad Mahrez carrying it from the right-hand side infield, rolls it into De Bruyne, and across is Marquinhos. The skipper gets there ahead of the Belgian, and then Silva has the ball played off him. It'll go behind for a PSG goal kick. It's a nice break that from Mahrez. Great energy from the Algerian. Just slightly too much pace on the ball ahead of De Bruyne and Marquinhos, as he so often does. Reads the game extremely well. Did have a question mark over him ahead of kickoff, and that question mark will remain for some time as to how fit he is for tonight's game, coming back into the side on such a huge occasion. Certainly his intelligence and reading of the game was there to be seen as he halted De Bruyne, and now PSG trying to use their intelligence on the front foot as Florenzi breaks down the right-hand side. He's crossed just too deep for Mbappe. Walker will hook it away, big up and under to the bright evening sky in the French capital. There's a little bit of rain before kick-off, and probably have to say that does suit Manchester City. It will make the surface slick and allow them to play the ball around with pace as they like to do. PSG not very much a possession side in the same vein as City. They'll be looking to use their pace and get it forwards to their real threats, the likes of Mbappe and Neymar, as quickly as possible. Di Maria certainly no stranger to causing problems either, but it's City now with Bernardo Silva, who breaks past one, then De Bruyne works it back out to Mahrez. I think Silva felt that pass was intended for him. He just took some of the pace off the ball, and that's allowed PSG to win it back momentarily, but City have reclaimed possession on the halfway line, and out to the left flank they go, breaking forwards with De Bruyne, the captain for Manchester City. Laid into Gundogan. Back to De Bruyne, who will switch the play to the right-hand side with Mahrez. And he has a bit of time and space, but Marco Verratti will come across to put an end to that. Forces Mahrez to play it back to Walker, across to Rodri, and through into a more central area with Gundogan. Looking for the reverse ball and almost found Mahrez. Angle slightly wrong, and it'll go behind for the goal kick. We see our first shot to Mauricio Pochettino as we bring you unofficial off-tube studio commentary of this game. Appointed in January. Board unhappy with how the season was developing under Thomas Tuchel. Seemed very harsh when we were very much still in the title race, and got them through to a cup final, the Trophy des Champions, which Mauricio Pochettino led them through successfully in the final, the first ever trophy he's won as a manager. In stark contrast to the man in the other dugout tonight, Guardiola. Pep Guardiola has won 28 major titles and a couple of community shields on top of that as well. Walker forwards for Manchester City. Again, has his avenue closed off, so visitors happy to recycle. They will want to get the win tonight, City. They'll certainly want a goal if they can have one, but they won't be rushing things. They'll be patient. In the away leg, they know that the crucial thing is to not come away on the wrong side of a heavy scoreline. Make sure that they go back to the Etihad with something to build from or to protect. Rodri with a lovely looking ball over the top, but again actually it's just got a little bit too much on it for Mahrez to continue the chase, and Keylor Navas will come and claim inside his box. Pep Guardiola already looking a little bit restless as he paces up and down the touchline, looks back to his bench and exchanges a few words with his backroom staff and turns to bark out the orders onto the field. Verratti. Gay. Laid off to Marquinhos. The ball clipped over the top now, looking for Mbappe, and Diaz gets a vital header in. Diverts it back to Ederson. Stones and Diaz have struck up a fine partnership in the heart of the Manchester City defence this season. I argue this could be their firmest test of the campaign, though, with Kylian Mbappe leading the line. He's been so key for Paris Saint-Germain over the last few years, and that certainly hasn't changed under Mauricio Pochettino. He's the player that's picked up the most minutes under the Argentine boss. City have had a good bit of possession in these early stages, just over 8 minutes played, out on the right-hand side now with Mahrez. A lot of the attacks have come down this flank. He's trying to create an angle for a cross, it's not there, so back to Walker. Then dropped off to the halfway line with Diaz, helped out left-hand side now, and João Cancelo finds De Bruyne in a pocket of space, but that doesn't last long. He has his pocket picked by Gay. And Rodri comes back to sweep up and launch that one back to his goalkeeper Ederson. A milestone game tonight for the Manchester City midfielder Rodri, his 100th appearance for the club. He questioned whether he was the right type of player for the club during his first campaign, but I think he has since gone on to silence those doubters. He's been able to step up and fill the void that has really been left by Fernandinho. Although he's still at the club, he's not able to offer the same sort of impact, energy and defensive buffer that he once did. Rodri certainly can do all of those things and has a good eye for a pass as well. Walker maybe should have played a pass there. He's run into traffic and lost the ball. Comes back to try and reclaim it, but in the process has fouled. And PSG will have a free kick on the halfway line. Leandro Paredes, having initially taken the ball off Walker, he's then bundled down to the ground by the England international. Guardiola's thoughts are clear. He didn't see too much wrong with it, but it looks like Kyle Walker is actually the man who's come off worse for wear here. He stayed down on the floor inside the centre circle, and Kevin De Bruyne is helping him back up to his feet. Looks as though he's going to continue without receiving any treatment. But certainly one to keep an eye on. The bench for City tonight: Aguero, Ake, Fernandinho, Jesus, Garcia, Laporte, Mendy. Backup goalkeepers Stefan and Trafford. And then Sterling, Torres and Zinchenko. So there's no player right back there on the bench. João Cancelo, of course, capable of playing on both sides, so there is a possibility if Walker had to depart that Cancelo could switch flanks and Zinchenko could potentially come on that left-hand side, or Benjamin Mendy. The game is back underway and Walker has got the ball at his feet, battling away, and he does really well actually to win possession and get City on the front foot. Now Mahrez, he's got Kimpembe isolated for a moment, but across and back comes Baka. And PSG have done well to win possession. Laid off to Gay. And now Verratti, in fact rather sorry, Paredes. Into midfield with Neymar, who's just dropped off and drifted in centrally. The challenge comes in from Diaz, but his clearance away only goes as far as Baka, and now it's Di Maria who's toying with the City defenders, and Bernardo Silva in particular. Cross comes in from the left, and that's deflected behind for a corner kick. First of the match. PSG with a fair bit of height in this side. Kimpembe and Marquinhos Good targets for Neymar to be aiming for. Will be the in-swinger from the Brazilian. 12 minutes gone. Paris Saint-Germain 0, Manchester City 0. Unofficial off-tube studio commentary. In goes the corner. Comes all the way through to Mbappe at the far post, trying to create the angle for a shot. It's not there. Drilled back into a crowd of bodies. It's stopped by a City leg and cleared as far as Bakker. Now out to Neymar. Flicks into the box, gets the return ball, shot away, and it's tipped over the bar by Ederson. Denies his compatriot. And gets a pat on his back by one of his fellow Brazil international teammates, Marquinhos. A fantastic save from the City number one. Corner taken short here, work to the edge of the box. City will clear. Best chance of the match that so far. Best couple of chances of the match actually. I think it was Florenzi with the initial shot that went into the crowd of bodies, and then Neymar looking at lovely little 1-2 with Verratti in the box. There were so many light blue shirts back there for City, but they just couldn't get close enough to prevent that 1-2 from playing out. I'm not sure if the shot took a deflection, but it was drilled hard towards the target, and Ederson with his trailing arm able to turn it behind. Warning for City in the opening throes of this clash. Unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Paris Saint-Germain 0, Manchester City 0. Neymar. He's back to the Manchester City goal, but well away from it and on the halfway line. Lays it off. Now sent away down the right-hand side is Florenzi. Laid back in towards Mbappe. The PSG number 7 coming away from goal. Finds Di Maria, who's going to have a pop from range, and that will deflect behind despite the best efforts from goalkeeper Ederson to keep it in play. Third corner of the match now for PSG, and after all that early possession for Manchester City, we're just starting to see PSG really find a foothold in this match. They're looking much more potent when they get into the final third, and certainly not afraid to take a pop at goal as and when they see an opening. Referee Felix Brick is having a word with Ruben Diaz about some pushing and shoving before this corner is delivered. This time it will be Angel Di Maria from the right-hand side, so another in-swinger for PSG. 14 and a half gone. Still the pushing goes on. It's Paredes who's getting the nudge in the back from Diaz. Now it's turned in, and the header finds a way home from Marquinhos, back in the side tonight, and a huge impact from the Paris Saint-Germain captain. A really nicely whipped ball in from Angel Di Maria, and Marquinhos just glances onto the far post. Ederson is rooted to the spot, and Paris Saint-Germain have built on that pressure. They've made it count, and they have the advantage in this game. It's Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Back in the side today, Captain Marquinhos with the header from 6 yards out. It's a corner kick swung in from the right-hand side. Lovely bit of whip on the ball from Angel Di Maria. And Marquinhos completely untracked. It is diabolical defending from Manchester City to allow someone of Marquinhos' ability and stature to make the run from the middle of the goal to beyond the near post, and he meets it perfectly, glances to the back stick. Ederson nowhere near it. It's PSG 1, Manchester City 0. Well, Pep Guardiola will be beside himself in the manner that Manchester City have allowed PSG to go and break the deadlock there. Of course, there's a long way to go over the course of these two ties. It's not the end of Manchester City's hopes of reaching the final of this competition, the Atatürk Stadium in Istanbul. But it certainly makes their task now all the more difficult. Trying to win the ball high up the field now. And they have managed to do so through Cancelo. Almost exactly a month out from when the final will be played, the 29th of May in Turkey. venue that should have hosted last season's final, but reshaped latter stages of 2019-20 competition meant that they were denied the chance to have the showpiece event at the Atatürk Stadium. There's a hope that fans will be in attendance at the final this year as well in some shape or form, whether that's at full capacity or just a percentage. Any is better than none. Walker playing a ball down the line here, but that's gone into touch and will be a PSG throw. Mahrez has very smartly gone and retrieved the ball from off the field. He was well out of position. He ran back onto the pitch with the ball and dropped it, and then played innocent, as if to say, well, I wasn't sure what was going to happen there. But what it means is that PSG, who had taken a quick throw in, now have to reset and start all over again, and City are back in a shape. Neymar back on the edge of his own box with a lovely switch of play out to the right-hand side and driven on forwards by Alessandro Florenzi. Now Gay drills the ball into midfield for Verratti. That's good play from Riyad Mahrez to steal possession. Now he's surrounded by three. He's lost the ball, but unfairly, says referee Felix Brick. The German blowing his whistle and now having a stern word with Neymar, who pleads his case. He certainly didn't get the ball there, Neymar, or didn't get it in the first instance. He did eventually come away with it, but it was after he'd wrapped his left leg around the body of Riyad Mahrez, sent him tumbling to the floor, and then managed to scoop the ball away in the aftermath. First semi-final appearance in the Champions League for Manchester City since 2015-16. First time they've reached this stage of the competition with Pep Guardiola in charge. It was Manuel Pellegrini in the dugout when they made it to the last four, losing 1-0 on aggregate to Real Madrid that time around. Going out to Lyon last season, Tottenham the campaign before. Rodri switching the play now to Mahrez again in a bit of space. Bakker will come across, but Mahrez looks to have the run on him. Now cuts back from the byline. Crossed in from De Bruyne, headed out by Kimpembe. Rodri sweeps up in midfield. It might well have been fouled there as he headed the ball down, but City will have possession anyway. Walker out wide to De Bruyne. Again, some good zip about City's possession, but as we saw in the early stages of this game, that possession didn't really lead to anything. They looked good on the ball to a point, but failing to make it count in the final third. Here's Phil Foden, the first time we've really mentioned him in the match. He's been somewhat anonymous. Cancelo's going to whip a ball in here, and Navas is forced into a save by Bernardo Silva. Well, the cross looked far too deep there from Cancelo, but Bernardo Silva managed to stretch out with the left foot beyond Bakker, promoted it towards the near post, and Navas sharply down and smartly turns behind for the corner. That would have been some response from City. Mahrez then with City's first corner of the match. Headed out by Marquinhos. Running headers in both boxes. The PSG captain, and crucial impact at both ends of the field. Walker will be the man to take the resulting throw. Back into his own half with Stones. Diaz finds Cancelo. Now Foden wide on the left-hand side. They need to get him involved in the game a little bit more. He's featured in all of City's games in the Champions League this season as the academy graduate, Stockport-born Phil Foden. It was a really important part of their victory over Borussia Dortmund in the previous round. Kimpembe. Out towards the left-hand side with Bakker. Gundogan will get a foot in, and De Bruyne tries to break, but Verratti is able to dispossess. PSG have just got their number at the moment. Manchester City lacking ideas in the final third. They've got lots of options on the bench, mind. Raheem Sterling, Sergio Aguero, Gabriel Jesus, but Guardiola, as he's often done this season too, a huge amount of success, has gone for the false nine. Rodri fouled by Florenzi, will get City a free kick inside their own half. They have won their last 17 games away from home in all competitions. That's not including their semi-final defeat to Chelsea at Wembley. That one, of course, at a neutral ground. So taking out the Carabao Cup win against Tottenham at the weekend, but 17 successive wins away in all competitions. Very impressive from City. It's actually a new record for an English top-flight club, beating their own previous record, was set back between May and November of 2017. To midfield, City go, Paris Saint-Germain go rather. Neymar is brought down as he tried to trick his way through a crowd of City players. De Bruyne, who had been nutmegged and then left a leg out for the Brazilian to go tumbling over. He's going to be okay, Neymar, back to his feet as PSG take the free kick short. Gay back to Marquinhos. Return to Marquinhos. Now Florenzi to Di Maria. Neymar allowed to turn on it. A free roll for the Brazilian tonight. Whipped into the box looking for Mbappe, but it was well read by Diaz. The clearance isn't the best, but flipped back into the box by Neymar. It goes through to Ederson. Speaking of Manchester City's fine form, PSG have been in pretty good form themselves of late. They've won 19 of their last 25 across all competitions, drawing once and losing 5 during that sequence. 59 goals scored, averaging over 2 a game. 21 conceded. "24.5 minutes played." Unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Baka and Mahrez both chasing after a loose ball. It's the former, the PSG man, who wins it. Marquinhos, direct ball into the feet of Neymar on the halfway line. Now space out wide for Baka. Walker is shuffling across to come and meet the number 25. As is Neymar, and it's Neymar who picks up possession out wide to Mbappe. City trying to close off all angles, but PSG have done a really good job of playing their way out of there. Now to Gay in a central position midway through the City half. Marquinhos worked right-hand side for Di Maria. Back to Kimpembe. De Bruyne is trying to put the squeeze on, but again they find a pass out of there and into a much safer and better position with Di Maria coming across the width of the field. Verratti now. Great close control from the Italy international. Florenzi attempts the cross. That's blocked behind for a corner out on that right-hand side once again. The PSG right, that is. The side that Di Maria delivered from for Marquinhos to head home. 15 minutes into this clash. City will be nervous and anxious about allowing the same to happen again. Seemed to be so much attention on Paredes last time. And Marquinhos was the one you felt they really should have been keeping an eye on. Di Maria will put it in again, and it almost finds the head of Marquinhos, slapped away by Ederson. It was almost a carbon copy. This time there was a bit more pace and the delivery was slightly flatter. They will have another corner on the opposite side of the field. Mbappe thought about going short, but going to wait for Neymar to come across and take it instead. Not quite sure why, but Verratti is having a word with referee Felix Brick. If they feel there was an infringement possibly there, VAR of course can be called on if required. The German officiating team this evening, Felix Brick, the leading man of that, the on-field referee. Having a few more words with players inside the box as the complaints continue. Neymar then with the delivery, in at the near post and headed wide by Paredes. He has been getting a lot of attention, but he was in front of Ruben Diaz and managed to meet that one with his head. And he was nudged by the Manchester City defender and just couldn't quite get his angle right. They're really struggling from these set pieces tonight, City. I'm not quite sure why they're finding it so tough. PSG I think we'll find some further joy from them before tonight's game is out. Navas. Kimpembe. Whipped out to the right-hand side by PSG, but there with the head is Cancelo. He's changed from his usual brightly coloured boots tonight to a more bland white number. Now backtracking to get into position as the ball goes out into touch for a PSG throw just over the halfway line in City territory, but Di Maria throws it back into his own half. And PSG will retreat all the way to their goalkeeper, Keylor Navas. Marquinhos. Back to Navas, who is comfortable with his feet. Worked out to the left-hand side with Kimpembe. Percentage ball down the line is won by a City head. Mahrez looks as though he's been fouled as he tries to turn from Mitchell Bakker. A 20-year-old Ajax Academy graduate. Third over Diallo. That left-back position tonight for PSG, and he's been worked. City have shown a preference for attacking down their right with Mahrez. You can understand why as well. He's scored or assisted in each of his last 4 Champions League appearances, the Algerian. He's over this set piece that he just won with De Bruyne. It's only about midway through the PSG half, and it's 5 or 6 yards in from the touchline, so there's a lot of work to be done with the delivery. Mahrez runs over it. De Bruyne does whip it towards the far post. Navas will slap it away two-handed. Has got the legs to find touch, and City will allow it to do so. Throw in on the left-hand side. Just needed a bit more whip away from the goalkeeper there with that delivery, De Bruyne. Rodri now driving it on, but he takes a tumble on the edge of the PSG box. Looks as though we might have the first yellow card coming out here as Cancelo has brought down Neymar. PSG attempting to break, and Cancelo wasn't going to allow Neymar to go beyond him. Just a turn of pace down the right-hand side, flicked the ball beyond Cancelo, and the Portuguese had already committed to making the tackle. So it's Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0, just over half an hour played. Unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Marquinhos' header, the difference between the two sides. City have only really had one attempt at goal so far. That was a left-footed effort on the stretch from Bernardo Silva. PSG have tested Ederson on several occasions and found the back of the net once, but here is City picking up a loose ball from Navas. Foden will deliver towards Mahrez, and the header doesn't quite reach the line, but it's cleared away. City are claiming that there was an arm used there to prevent that one getting into the back of the net, I think from Paredes. Walker has now committed a foul. He might be the latest to go into the book. City players are still asking about a potential penalty here. We're looking at the replay of Neymar going down under challenge from Walker, but it was Navas who tried to play it out wide. Foden picked it up. He crossed towards Mahrez. The header was goal bound. I think the question actually, it's not over a handball, but it is a question as to whether there's a penalty. Marquinhos looked to be jumping into the back of Bernardo Silva, and it looked as though the foot of Paredes was at head height for Bernardo Silva. There wasn't any contact, but it's one of those that if you see it anywhere else on the field outside of the box, referees would probably tend to give that as a free kick, and with a suggestion that it's dangerous play. That was better from City, although really coming from a PSG mistake. Just moments after I'd said Navas was pretty useful with his feet, he gave it away cheaply. Well, PSG coming down the other end now with Neymar, trying to hold off the attentions of Gundogan. Finds Di Maria, rolled down the line for Florenzi. The cross is repelled initially. Di Maria tries the follow-up shot, but Foden will block. De Bruyne trying to bring the ball back down to terra firma, and he's eventually muscled off it. PSG have played their way out of tight spaces really well tonight. You have to be able to do that comfortably against City with the way they press, and now the ball into the box from Mbappe. He's just let that ball run across his body, laid back to Baka. His shot is blocked by a City defender. That was a big chance for Mbappe, and he should have done better. Might be a chance on here for De Bruyne, but Navas will come out of his box to meet it. He's headed back towards his own goal by Paredes. I don't think he realised that De Bruyne was already on the run. Just about had enough pace on it for Navas to get out and meet it. This game has got drama at both ends now as Di Maria leaves two players for dead and drives into the box. Finds Neymar, but he can't control. It'll go through to Ederson. Great play from Di Maria to open things up as the rain is starting to come down now. It was prior to kick-off, and then it had eased off a little bit, but the spring evening has a bit of rain to it and a bit more zip on the field as well. Walker. Finds Cancelo. Foden is further wide and found as well. Back into Cancelo. Now Gundogan in some space. City's star men this season just haven't quite been able to find themselves in the right positions as of yet. Foden and Gundogan scored plenty of goals in the absence of recognised strikers over the course of the campaign. Gundogan actually City's top goal scorer in the Premier League and across all competitions. He's their joint top scorer in this competition as well with 3. Phil Foden joins him on that mark with 3 goals, and they just haven't been able to find themselves in the right areas tonight. PSG have been the ones that have found the space, looking to do that again now, and Ederson comes out of his box to clear. He's sliced the ball. Has to go and meet it for a second time and make sure it's up into the stands. PSG have a throw-in. Down by the corner flag at City's end of the field. PSG go back to the halfway line with possession. Just over 35 minutes played. PSG 1, Manchester City 0. Unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Diaz with a vital interception as the ball was rolled forwards, intended for the run of Mbappe. And it's Walker down the line for Mahrez. One thing that PSG have done well tonight is double up on Mahrez. Neymar has come out wide and dropped in to support Baka on a few occasions. Verratti and Paredes have also come across as and when required. We're aware of the threat that City pose in those areas of the field. There's been lots of talk from players on both sides of motivation of hurt that is really spurring them on. Memories of hurt, I should say, that is motivating them and spurring them on for this semi-final. PSG losers in last season's final, and City falling at that quarter-final hurdle for the last 5 seasons. PSG with possession and trying to work it through the channels, but there is Mahrez to intercept, and now City will attempt to try and build something. De Bruyne He's been playing in that false nine role for the last 3 or 4 minutes, and he's carrying it forwards and out wide this time in towards Foden. Back into De Bruyne, who's now just drifted into that channel on the left-hand side, and that's like Gundogan and Bernardo Silva to take up more central attacking positions. Not a great deal of movement for De Bruyne to try and pick someone out, so City are having to go back to the halfway line with Walker. Reversed into midfield with Rodri. Cancelo under pressure from Gay, manages to help it out to De Bruyne, and Foden once again back to Cancelo. Bernardo Silva have made the run into the box. They're hoping the ball might be lofted in, but City not prepared to risk losing possession just at the moment. More dangerous pass now to find De Bruyne in the box. His low ball is cleared behind. That should be a corner for Manchester City. De Bruyne was fast running out of room, so just hooked the ball across the face of goal. There's no one there to go and attack it that time around. They'll settle for the set piece. Did score from a set piece to win the Carabao Cup at the weekend. Aymeric Laporte, who's dropped today with the header that time around. It's Navas to punch this set piece. And Di Maria will now carry possession away. Comes infield and finds Paredes. City dropping back into a more recognisable defensive shape. Verratti in the centre circle inside his own half. Drop of the shoulder to try and get away from the attentions of Foden. Paredes finding Neymar. He's got Foden on his shoulder. Having got away from the attentions of Foden, he was stopped by Cancelo. The ball into touch for a throw-in. Neymar's actually stayed down, clutching his arm. It was a fair challenge by Cancelo. He's on a yellow card, of course, and you wonder if that is part of the reason why Neymar has decided to stay on the floor to try and draw the attention of the referee. Absolutely nothing wrong with the challenge. It might be the way that Neymar has landed on the floor as he put his arm down to brace his fall. Looks as though he might have just come down a little bit heavily on it. We're just over 5 minutes away from the half-time break. As Phil Foden hangs out the arm and offers to help Neymar back up to his feet. Cancelo offers an apology to Neymar, but an apology probably wasn't needed, because we are restarting from a throw-in. It wasn't a foul and it's no free kick. Into the final 5 minutes of the first half then. Game has flowed pretty nicely so far, apart from one or two minor stoppages. I don't think we'll be getting more than a minute of additional time as PSG look to break into the box here, and it might fall for Mbappe. There's a challenge in and PSG want the penalty. Referee Felix Brick is not currently interested in that. It was actually Neymar who ended up on the deck. 2 or 3 PSG players had all taken up good positions as City now come away with it. Mahrez held up by Gale. Be interesting to see a replay of that incident. Cancelo. That's a shot from range that goes over the bar and should afford us a chance to pick apart what's just happened in the box at the other end of the field. It was a lovely ball flicked in towards Florenzi, who got away from Diaz. I actually think it's a Paris Saint-Germain player who brings down Neymar. Florenzi, yeah, he tries to kick the ball there, and in the process he kicks the legs of his own teammate. Mahrez was back there as well on the other side of Neymar and might well have made a little bit of contact, but it looks as though Florenzi was guilty of catching Neymar more so than Mahrez. A misplaced ball again has allowed City in here. Foden with a shot at goal. It's straight at Navas though and parried up and away. He'll go and collect it at the second time of asking. Well, they were gifted a chance there, City, the second time that PSG have been loose at the back. But it goes unpunished once more. It's not the best of efforts by Foden. He needs to be finding a corner. He goes straight down the middle. It's a comfortable height for the keeper as well, just above his head. Navas able to deny a Manchester City start. As things stand, it will be PSG taking the lead in at half-time. City can take some comfort from the fact that they've got a fine record away from home in the Champions League. 11 of their last 16 away from home in this competition. Drawing 3 and losing 2. PSG are making them work for it tonight and have the lead. Mbappe stopped well by Cancelo. Foden will keep the ball in play. Both losses during that sequence of 16 games as well actually came on home soil. The last away loss came back in 2017-18 when they went down to Shakhtar Donetsk in the group stage, match day 6. Final 2 minutes of the first half. De Bruyne allowed to turn on the ball, but was then very quickly stopped in his tracks by the goal scorer Marquinhos. Kyle Walker's going to be penalised here for nudging Angel Di Maria off the ball. Di Maria was running towards a pass and it looked as though there was a hand in the back. Looking back at that Phil Foden chance as well, and Trezeguet is trying to make life as difficult as possible. He was charging across to close down the angle, somewhat forcing Foden into the shot much earlier than I think he would have liked. Possibly wasn't fully settled. Goal after 15 minutes from Marquinhos, still what separates these two sides. Though City would love to get a goal tonight, I think even a 1-0 loss would be acceptable. Although not perfect and preferred, it will be something for them to try and overturn and attainable as a target for the second leg back at the Etihad Stadium. They haven't been on the back foot or under a great deal of pressure for large periods. There have been times in this first half where Paris Saint-Germain have asked questions. City have enjoyed periods of their own as well. Some purple patches for both sides. Mbappe now trying to help PSG end the first half strongly. The final seconds of the 45. He's run into too much traffic there though, but then it's given away by Bernardo Silva. 1 minute is the verdict of additional time. Mahrez dispossesses Mbappe and puts the ball into touch for a throw-in. This is where PSG want to be to end the first half, level with the edge of Manchester City's box. Mbappe now picks up possession down by the corner flag. Little flick around the corner, receives the return ball and tries a 1-2 with Neymar, but City will clear away. Everyone of City persuasion was back there defending, so as it goes over the halfway line, Marquinhos can claim it unchallenged. And it's Kimpembe. Backer neatly rolled down the line before being returned to him by Verratti. City will win it. Bernardo Silva flicked onto the inside channel for Mahrez. We're almost done with the minute of additional time. City might well be able to create one chance though before that whistle goes. Out to Foden on the left-hand side. There's no one in the box to aim for. It's back to Gundogan, whose attempted cross is blocked. And that should bring us to half-time as Felix Brick blows his whistle. It is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. At half-time, it's Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos heading home from an Angel Di Maria corner on 15 minutes to provide the difference between the two sides at the break. Manchester City haven't created a great deal of chances. The two opportunities they have had both came from PSG mistakes at the back. One, a Riyad Mahrez header that was cleared away. The other, a Bernardo Silva stretch that was saved by Keylor Navas. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. And there was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal-bound but dealt with by the defenders. Ederson saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. There was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal-bound but dealt with by the defenders. Ederson saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. And there was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal-bound but dealt with by the defenders. Ederson saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. And there was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal-bound but dealt with by the defenders. Ederson saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. There was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal-bound but dealt with by the defenders. Ederson saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. And there was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal-bound but dealt with by the defenders. Ederson saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. There was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal-bound but dealt with by the defenders. Ederson saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. There was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal-bound but dealt with by the defenders. Ederson saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. There was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal-bound but dealt with by the defenders. Ederson saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. And there was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal-bound but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. And there was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal-bound but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. And there was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal-bound but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. And there was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal-bound but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. And there was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal-bound but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. And there was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal-bound but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. And there was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal-bound but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. And there was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal-bound but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. And there was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal-bound but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. And there was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal-bound but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away, but Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. There was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal bound, but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. There was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal bound, but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. There was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal bound, but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. There was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal bound, but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. There was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal bound, but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. There was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal bound, but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. There was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal bound, but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. There was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal bound, but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. There was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal bound, but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. There was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal bound, but dealt with by the defenders. Edison saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. There was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal bound but dealt with by the defenders. Ederson saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. There was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal bound but dealt with by the defenders. Ederson saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. There was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal bound but dealt with by the defenders. Ederson saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Phil Foden with a shot that was parried away. Bernardo Silva on the stretch managed to test Keylor Navas as well. There was also a header from Riyad Mahrez that was goal bound but dealt with by the defenders. Ederson saving well from Neymar. It's 1-0. At half-time, it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes, the difference between the two sides. He met Angel Di Maria's corner at the near post and managed to guide it on into the far corner. City have had chances. Well, here we go for the second half of this Champions League semi-final, first leg tie. Manchester City trailing the host Paris Saint-Germain by 1-0. Marquinhos' header on 15 minutes is what separates the two sides. A half that had plenty of quality from both sides. City probably lacking a little bit in the final third, but on a defensive front, they showed solidity. John Stones and Ruben Diaz dealing as well as could be expected with the threat that is Kylian Mbappe and Neymar and Angel Di Maria, restricting the amount of sights they had in on goal. City's best chances really came from PSG mistakes at the back, but Foden and Mahrez were unable to fully capitalise on them. Bernardo Silva also had an opportunity when he stretched to meet a cross from João Cancelo, forcing the save from Keylor Navas. Ederson making a really good save to deny Neymar just moments before Marquinhos had broken the deadlock. I'll take you through the 11s in a moment. We've got an early free kick here for Manchester City, wide on the right-hand side. He's only a few yards shy of the penalty area, so it's a really good spot, this. A very good angle to be trying to deliver from. Mahrez and De Bruyne, the two over the top of it. 46.5 minutes gone. Unofficial off-tube studio commentary. I'm Bobby Jackson, taking you through tonight's game. Mahrez runs over it. De Bruyne delivers. Headed up and away by Mitchell Bakker at the near post. Foden retrieves it. Receives the ball back from Cancelo. The Portuguese then sent back into his own half. City recycled possession and shifted across to the right-hand side. Foden is trying to break the lines with a run in behind, and De Bruyne thought about the pass, but instead decides to go short, and they come back out to the left. Where Cancelo is all on his own for now. Infield he goes to Foden, who just allows the ball to scoop up off his boot as it's laid into Rodri. Gundogan. Mahrez now takes over control on the right-hand side. Down the line for De Bruyne, who looks to swing a cross in. It cannons off Kimpembe, back onto De Bruyne. And that will go for the goal kick. So the lineups then, no changes at the break for PSG. It's Navas in goal, Florenzi, Marquinhos, Kimpembe and Bakker. Midfield then of Gay, Paredes and Verratti. Di Maria, Mbappe and Neymar making up the attacking options. City are Ederson in goal, Walker, Stones, Diaz and Cancelo, Gundogan, Rodri and De Bruyne, Mahrez, Silva and Foden. Lots in reserve for Manchester City on the bench tonight. There's a fairly decent bench as well for PSG, but probably have to say their best players are out there on the pitch. City, you could argue, have still got some of their better quality performers in reserve, should they need them. Cancelo made off to Stones under pressure on the edge of his own box from Neymar, who's sporting something on his arm in this second half, almost like a support really. Did go down clutching his arm in the first period, so maybe just feeling a little bit sore around that area. It wasn't a foul, he just landed awkwardly on it. Mahrez for City, back infield to De Bruyne. The City captain lays off, and now with Rodri. Mahrez helps it out towards Gundogan, and Foden can turn on it. Cancelo is there in support. Foden has gone beyond, but Cancelo comes away from goal. Now turns back down that left-hand side and does find Foden. His cross there is deep. City are appealing that there might have been a late challenge on Cancelo as he laid that ball out wide. Cancelo has stayed down. Felix Brick, the referee, the German official in charge tonight, was initially telling him to get back up to his feet. I don't think he's going to change his mind here. Let's have a look at it again. There was a nice Cruyff turn from Cancelo initially to get away from Di Maria, and then played it out wide, and a bit of a stamp down on the foot from Di Maria as he came back for a second time to try and win possession. Yeah, the referee was having none of it. The game has gone on anyway. He didn't require treatment. He's up, and PSG have restarted with the throw-in. City will win possession high up the field. That's what they did well at times. They tried that squeeze that we become so used to seeing from Pep Guardiola's sides. PSG, to their credit, managed to play out of that squeeze more often than not, but there were just one or two glimmers of hope, I suppose, for City, that they did force mistakes. I hope that eventually they're going to capitalise on one of them. Ruben Diaz has just cheaply given possession away, trying the Hollywood ball and getting it horribly wrong. Goal kick for PSG taken by Navas into the goal scorer Marquinhos. Flicked down the line by Florenzi. Di Maria to Verratti. Under pressure as he was nudged off balance, and City have done well to win it. Now Rodri, dispossessed by Verratti, ball into touch. Everyone appeals, and City are awarded the throw. Guardiola is warned by the fourth official for flirting with stepping out of his technical area. I don't think he actually did go over the margin, but he strided forward towards the edge of it. Cancelo to Rodri. Everyone of PSG persuasion back behind the ball at the moment. Gundogan clips a lovely ball out to the left-hand side where Cancelo beats his man. Into the box he goes. Foden takes over. Gundogan now lays off to Rodri. City have been forced out of the area. Back towards Diaz and Walker. Good defensive work from PSG. They can't afford to sit on a 1-0 lead. That would be a very dangerous game against City. They are at the moment soaking up pressure, and that has been the case for the opening 6 minutes of this second half. De Bruyne into the box. Again, just dispossessed at the right moment. City come out left-hand side with Cancelo, but Di Maria is in there tenaciously, and he wins a free kick for his troubles as well. Combination of Cancelo and De Bruyne. Seeing Di Maria not just lose possession, but also lose his footing and win his side a free kick. It was more so the challenge of De Bruyne rather than Cancelo. It's definitely something they've added to their game over the past few years, PSG. They've become much more solid and well organised defensively. One of the reasons why they had so many failures in the Champions League. get to the final last year and had shown that they were much harder to break down, not just a threat going forwards. And tonight we are seeing both sides of that game now. Ederson for City, inside his own box. Played out into the midfield to Gundogan, who beats a man, and now it's opening up for City. De Bruyne, he's got Cancelo to his left, Foden breaking through the middle. It's Cancelo who takes control. Twists one way and then the other, hangs across up too close to Navas. The keeper claims it unchallenged. Bolted out quickly to the left-hand side with Neymar, who tries to knock it around. Rodri in charge on after it. Rodri had put his body in the way, and the referee says he's blocks off Neymar and has given away the free kick. And there's no doubt that Neymar's got the pace on Rodri, and as we see the reverse angle of it there, yeah, Rodri's got a good handful of Neymar's shirt. There was also a decent handful of Rodri's shirt taken up by Neymar as well, but often the attacking player is going to get the benefit of the doubt in that situation. PSG take the free kick and go back to Navas. Marquinhos to Di Maria, and this is where City try to squeeze again. They've got plenty of bodies. 6, in fact, inside PSG's half of the field. Making the hosts really work to get out, and actually they've forced them into giving away possession. Foden now, De Bruyne, first time ball to Rodri, might well have been caught there. The referee is thinking about the advantage, and City have utilised it. They go down the line to De Bruyne. It's an early ball in because he was under pressure. It's cleared away by PSG. I just wonder when Guardiola might turn to a number 9, a Aguero or Jesus on the bench. That's a couple of times now that City have put an early ball into the box and there is absolutely no one there. It's not to say the false 9, Bernardo Silva, isn't going to get on one of those, but if you have a out-and-out number 9, then chances are they will arrive at the right time. Mbappe forward for PSG now, rare venture into attacking territory for the hosts in this second half. Mbappe toying with the defenders across the face of goal, and Walker will put it behind for a corner. Well, it is mercurial best. Mbappe sitting defenders down as he broke into the box. Stones stayed with him throughout, but Diaz was all over the place. Eventually that ball rolled across the face, no one there to attack it. Mbappe, I suppose the central striker, would be the one you'd want to be getting into that position. The corner for PSG, and they were dangerous from these in the first half. Again, it's in at the near post, but headed behind by Di Maria. It was a good 7 or 8 yards beyond the near post there, and would have taken something rather spectacular to score from that type of angle. City over the halfway line. Out to Cancelo, tries to roll it down the line for Foden, but he's played that way too close to Florenzi. He attempts to break out for PSG, but misplaces his pass, and City have it again. This is the type of game that I think Guardiola would have wanted from the outset. They didn't dominate possession as much as this in the first half, City, but monopolising it in this second period. Gundogan, Rodri, back to Walker and out wide now. A crossing opportunity for Bernardo Silva. In fact, he decides to go back and across towards Gundogan. He will come back centrally. A drop of the shoulder has seen him evade the tackler. Diaz to De Bruyne, driving into the box, and Idrissa Gueye gets in there, but Foden steals it back. Good play from the City youngster Mahrez. It's brought down there, and in fact the referee says no foul. PSG clear it away, and it's into touch deep in City territory. Looked as though Mahrez had his heels clipped as he was turning on the ball, but He turns to the referee with a wry smile on his face now. Starting to feel, City, that decisions just aren't going to fall in their favour away from home this evening. German official is not making many friends on the blue side of Manchester. Here is Mahrez again. He's got Verratti for company this time. Comes infield to Rodri. Switch of play to Cancelo. Stopped in his tracks by Di Maria, who not just wins the ball but and breaks away from Cancelo. He might have shown too much to Foden here. No, he manages to continue and plays a good-looking ball to Mbappe. Out is Ederson. Great reading of the game by the Manchester City goalkeeper. Had he not come to meet that, then Mbappe was set to control and would have been shown a clean pair of heels to both Diaz and Stones. Almost an hour played. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 0. Unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Pochettino has only won 3 of the previous 18 meetings with Pep Guardiola. City boss has won 10 of those previous engagements. It looks as though at the moment the Argentinian might be adding another to his tally with Paris Saint-Germain tonight. Mahrez. Infield to Gundogan. And Rodri. Yes, there was behind Gundogan, and that sees City lose some momentum here. They managed to recover it, but they have to start all over. Trying patiently to pick the lock. Shifting it left and right. Trying to find any chink in the armour. At the moment, there is none for them to expose. I'll hope that maybe PSG will slip up at some point, become a little bit weary of having to focus and defend for such large periods in this game. Mahrez clips one into the box. There is Kimpembe with the header. De Bruyne then with the overhead kick. It's over the bar. Reaction type effort from the Belgian, the City skipper. Meets it well out of the sky, but just can't quite get over the top of it. And it loops onto the roof of the net. Navas would have been struggling there. As we see City make a change. João Cancelo is off and Alexander Zinchenko, the Ukrainian, is on. I have to believe that it's partly down to the fact that Cancelo is on a yellow card from quite early in this match for a foul on Mbappe. Guardiola wary of seeing his side reduced to 10 men and really being up against it. Marquinhos to Florenzi. Long ball for Mbappe to try and make good, but Zinchenko comes out to meet it and helps City to win a throw-in with his first involvement in the game. He takes the resulting throw and it goes across to the right-hand side. 10 attempts for Paris Saint-Germain so far, 4 on target. City have registered 5 attempts with just 2 of those on target. Crucially, PSG have converted once. They have the 1-0 advantage with just over an hour played. Diaz has to clear forwards as he's put under some pressure there from Mbappe, and that's gifted possession to PSG via Keylor Navas. Paredes sent one forward. He was under pressure, and likewise that's gifted possession to the Manchester City goalkeeper Ederson. Diaz, time on the ball. Out to Zinchenko, down the line for Foden, return to the Ukrainian. He runs into Gay, and now Di Maria will take over. He's going to have too much pace there for Gundogan. Cuts inside, but Zinchenko had got back and helps out. There's a 1-2 with Gundogan and now clears down the line, but he's struck more of the turf there than the ball, it would seem, and it's rolled into PSG's possession. Neymar finds Gay. Former Everton man attempts to send it down the line, but there is Foden to stop it. A little bit loose from both sides. Now City come away, and it's Bernardo Silva out to Mahrez. Walker is bombing on down the line, and into the box he goes. Squares the ball, but Marquinhos is first to it. De Bruyne was closest for City. There's a nice counter-attack from the visitors. Really neatly strung together. Just that final ball, unable to pick out a teammate. And again comes back to the question as to whether a number 9 would have been there to meet it. It's the first time we've really seen Walker make one of those runs in this match. I feel they probably are a little bit concerned about PSG on the counter and reluctant to commit too many to the attack. And City have got an equaliser. It was a cross from deep that has somehow managed to find its way all the way into the back of the net. Keylor Navas will be hugely disappointed with that. And it looks as though it's Kevin De Bruyne who will get the credit for this goal. He certainly wasn't intending to score there. City take a short corner. It comes out to Zinchenko, laid off to De Bruyne. He's a good 40 yards from goal, wide on the left-hand side. He swings across in. There's a few players that dangle legs out. I think Navas is caught in two minds as to where to go and what to do. In the end, he just crumbles and the ball goes through into the back of the net. And City are back on level terms. It's Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 1. And a goal that Keylor Navas will be hugely disappointed to concede just over an hour played. City work a short corner, it comes back out to De Bruyne. He certainly has no intentions of shooting here. He whips across into the box from deep. And it's got a bit of pace on it heading towards the far corner. There's a couple of City players that sort of dangle out legs. I think Diaz tries to go to it with his head. Stones arriving at the far post, puts the right foot out, but Navas doesn't know whether to stay or go, and in the end he does neither. The ball goes all the way through in at the far post. It's PSG 1, Manchester City 1. And that is the away goal that City have been so desperately seeking, gifted to them. You have to argue that it's no less than their players deserved in this second half. They have been the side on top, and now they're on level terms. What do we see now from PSG? Surely they have to be a little bit more forceful. This is their home leg. They need to do as much as they possibly can to try and come out on top. But the favourites to win the Champions League, Manchester City, have forced their way back into this tie at the Parc des Princes. Can they go on and get a winner and put themselves in a hugely strong position for the return at the Etihad with a couple of away goals? Offside flag goes up here against Zinchenko. I wonder if Mauricio Pochettino might consider a look towards his bench. Potentially, he's got Dagba, Danilo, Diallo, Draxler, Herrera, Icardi, Keane, Kehrer, Kazawa, Rafinha. Backup goalkeeper Rico and Sarabia, a refresher of the City bench, by the way. Backup goalkeepers Trafford and Steffen, then Aguero, Ake, Fernandinho, Jesus, Garcia, Laporte, Mendy, Sterling and Torres. 5 substitutions allowed in the Champions League, so plenty of depth there for both managers to dive into. De Bruyne dispossessed, but the ball falls good to Gundogan. The Champions League tie last night between Real Madrid and Chelsea finished 1-1 as well. That time it was the Premier League side going ahead in the game through Christian Pulisic before Karim Benzema levelled for the hosts. Tonight the opposite way round, but we could be set for a similar scoreline, the same outcome maybe. It does, of course, mean the second legs, which are both going to be played back on English soil, will be set up nicely for those Premier League sides who met just a couple of weeks ago in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea coming out on top against City and ending City's hopes of winning the quadruple this season. Treble still firmly on with the Carabao Cup in the bag. The Premier League title within touching distance. It's the Champions League campaign that is going to be their toughest test over the next month. The final to be played on May 29th in Turkey at Istanbul's Ataturk Stadium. Here's Gundogan for City across to Walker. City continue to go through the gears in this second half. They're not taking their foot off the pedal whatsoever, despite having found an equaliser. They sense blood, and PSG have just offered little in this second half. Foden and Gundogan. Zinchenko was breaking down the left, but ignored as City go back through the middle into Rodri. Gundogan again. And Mahrez to Foden. City playing it intricately and then win the free kick. Foden brought down by Gay. It's in a good spot, this one. There's going to be a yellow card to come out. And it looks as though it might be in the direction of Paredes, actually. I don't think he was the man who committed the foul. I wonder if he's spoken out of turn there towards referee Felix Brick. Interested to see the replay of that one. Yeah, it's definitely Idrissa Gueye who commits the foul. Paredes is penalised for kicking the ball away. We have it cleared up. Unofficial off-tube studio commentary. City have no shortage of candidates to take this set piece. Gundogan, De Bruyne, Mahrez, all currently over the top of it. I would put a fair bit of money on captain De Bruyne, who's already got one tonight, pulling rank here. It is pretty central, so that keeps the goalkeeper Navas on his toes. It's just left of centre, about 4 or 5 yards outside the D on the edge of the area. PSG are currently putting a wall together, which they've placed to the left-hand side of the goal as City look at it. As discussion continues to go on between Mahrez and De Bruyne, Gundogan appears to have stepped away. City have set up a 3-man wall in front of PSG's 4-man wall, just to make life even more difficult for the goalkeeper. Mahrez does take this one, and it finds a way through. And Paris Saint-Germain, having led in this game, now trail Manchester City by 2-1. Navas punches the ball away in frustration. I think completely unsighted there. The City wall, it wasn't even the City wall. It goes through the PSG wall. In between Kimpembe and Paredes, I think it is. That's why the goalkeeper is so disappointed. That is shocking to allow that space for the ball to filter through. And PSG only have themselves to blame. Manchester City have completely turned this tie on its head. They now lead by 2-1. Riyad Mahrez scoring from a free kick, which was won by Phil Foden. He was fouled by Idrissa Gueye. It was just left of centre, about 5 or 6 yards outside the penalty area. And Riyad Mahrez steps up, he hits it left-footed, and it goes through the wall. That's why Keylor Navas, the goalkeeper, is so disappointed. He puts his trust and faith in them to stand firm, but the ball squeezes in between Kimpembe and Paredes at hip height. They both turn, the ball finds its way through, and Navas can't get across and down quickly enough. It's Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 2. Well, Pep Guardiola's fine record against Mauricio Pochettino, as it stands, is set to continue. And they are in a fine position from this first leg, if they can hang on. How does City react to going ahead now, though? They've been on the front foot and dominant. PSG aren't going to allow that to continue. They're going to want to fight their way back into it. They are forwards now. Di Maria with the cross. Neymar, chest down. Can't quite fully control it in the box. Cleared away by City. Up go 2 players for the header, and De Bruyne has come off second best, and City will have the free kick. He's in no rush to get back up to his feet, De Bruyne. Eventually he's dragged up by Marquinhos. He's the man responsible for the foul on De Bruyne. Both seem to be losing their balance in the air, and Marquinhos almost used De Bruyne as leverage to ensure he wasn't going to fall over. Diaz goes back to Ederson. Looks as though he might well have been fouled there, and there could be a yellow card on its way for Neymar. Felix Brick goes into his pocket, and Neymar is the latest to be shown a yellow. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 2. Whatever Guardiola said at the break has had the desired impact. City came out with a huge amount of motivation in this second half. Ederson takes the free kick. Long down the field it goes, headed away by Kimpembe. Into Gundogan. Walker. To Bernardo Silva, now De Bruyne. He's got Gay on his shoulders, but manages to hold off the Paris Saint-Germain man. The cross comes in, and Foden with the header, but it's claimed by Navas. Bowl it out from the back in towards Kimpembe. He will be one of 2 players feeling the wrath of his manager at full time if things remain the same. In fact, even if Paris Saint-Germain get back into this, I think there'll still be a lot said about the fact that Paredes and Kimpembe both turned away from that ball. Had they both turned in the same direction, it might have been okay, but they turned in opposite directions and seemed to almost back out of the situation. Inexcusable when you're in the wall. Ederson finding Rodri. First time ball back to Stones, and now out with Walker. The switch of play finding Zinchenko. Very nicely controlled and worked infield to De Bruyne. He lays off first time for Gundogan. City will be delighted with a 2-1 advantage to take back to home soil. Gundogan. 3-1 lead would be almost dreamland for City. And no doubt would make that second leg extremely exciting, with Paris Saint-Germain having to chase things. Let's not forget, PSG can't quite take their foot off the gas in Liga 1 just yet either, as Idrissa Gueye might be on track for a yellow card here. He's caught a City player late there on the heels. He might have gone down the Achilles, actually. Idrissa Gueye is trying to argue his case, but I don't think he's got much of a leg to stand on, to be honest. It might well be Gundogan. Difficult to tell at the moment. He's stayed down on the floor and looks to be in a fair bit of pain. City players are asking for a booking, and Felix Brick is going to respond with a red card. Idrissa Gueye has been sent off. A straight red card. Paris Saint-Germain now trailing and down to 10 men. Well, Felix Brick took a while to think about that one. He wasn't rushed into it. We'll take a look again. It's late and it's high. It's bad. Yeah, the studs there coming up just on the Achilles. That is not nice at all from Idrissa Gueye. There are no complaints from Mauricio Pochettino. He knows his man has done wrong. And PSG have lost their heads here. Into the final 15 minutes, and Paris Saint-Germain are not only trailing at home, but they've just been reduced to 10 men. Idrissa Gueye, a key figure in the midfield, the enforcer Normally such a reliable figure has just acted so rashly as İlkay Gündoğan tried to lay the ball off in and around the halfway line, not even in a dangerous area of the pitch. Gay is launched in, stood showing just above the ankle. It is not a nice tackle at all. Referee Felix Brick took a few moments to think about it. Gündoğan is still down on the floor receiving treatment. He eventually went into his back pocket, pulled out a straight red. PSG down to 10 men. They're going to bring on Fernandinho as well, Manchester City, just to make sure that they've got some extra protection here. But Gana Gueye is off and Manchester City in a great position. And what has happened to PSG here? They have capitulated in this second half. Manchester City have them on the ropes and might well be able to land a knockout blow in this second half, in the final stages. If they can go and grab a third goal, that could be enough to potentially wrap up this tie. They are going to make a change, PSG. His treatment continues to be handed over to Gündoğan on the field. It's going to be Danilo to come on, and the man sacrificed is Angel Di Maria. He had a great first half, but most of the PSG players just hasn't been able to get involved in this game in the second half. Danilo, a midfielder, will slot into the position vacated by Idrissa Gana Gueye. They're just going to have less in that final third now, PSG, with Di Maria off. A little bit of a reshuffle in terms of the shape. Pep Guardiola, I'm surprised, hasn't put another attacker on, to be honest. He's still got another 3 changes left to make, but here comes City. De Bruyne will swing the cross in. That's too deep and goes behind for the goal kick. They seem there for the taking, PSG. And you feel if they don't really go for it here, City, that it might be a chance passed up if they can't go and grab a third. This is going to be an interesting finish to this game. Danilo carrying the ball, his first touch of it. PSG go out to the left-hand side. The last 30 minutes, City have had 58% possession, 4 shots, 3 on target. And that time PSG have had 1 shot and it wasn't on target. That's how this game has turned in City's favour. Expect those possession stats to ramp right up as well in the closing stages. With an extra man on the field now, City can really start to flex their muscles. Zinchenko 1-2 with Gündoğan. Not sure if Fernandinho has come on. It doesn't appear that he's entered the field just yet. Looks as though Gündoğan is trying to see this one through for now. Here's Mahrez. Into the box he goes, but just overruns it. PSG will come away with Diallo, but he runs into trouble, and City have it again now with Zinchenko in a central area. Coming out wide left for De Bruyne. They need to use the width as much as possible, City, to stretch PSG. Into the box they go with Gündoğan. Ball laid back off to Mahrez. Now Rodri. He's got Mbappe back there. He's having to help out defensively, not where they want him. Rodri puts it across the face of goal, and Florenzi will chest down calmly to his goalkeeper. No one there in the middle for City to go and attack it. Navas throws out to the left-hand side with Kimpembe. Baka to his goalkeeper Navas, return to Baka. Mahrez goes and puts a foot in and to touch for a PSG throw, penned in by the corner flag in their own defensive third. We're going to see another change for PSG. Off goes Paredes. He's on a yellow card. The last thing PSG need is another sending off. It's going to be former Manchester United midfielder Ander Herrera on in his place. You have to commend Guardiola. He spotted the danger of Cancelo being on a yellow card earlier on in the game and took him off. That was the only player to pick up a booking for City so far tonight. Still on the field on a yellow for PSG is Neymar. In fairness, Pochettino couldn't have predicted that Idrissa Gana Gueye was going to pick up a straight red. And I think he'll be loath to take off Neymar in a game when they still want to go and try and find a goal. Here's De Bruyne. They need the ball, PSG, if they're to score, and at the moment they can't get it. City with Mahrez on the right-hand side. 2 for company. And it's proved too much for him to cope with as he ends up in touch. City win it back almost immediately as the ball is returned into the field of play. Ruben Diaz on the halfway line. A fine first season he's had with Manchester City. Taken on forward by Bernardo Silva, out to Mahrez. 2 in the box, Foden and Silva, not a great deal of height between them. That's why City appear reluctant to cross. Mahrez might have a dig at the target, he's dragged wide of the near post. A couple of City players feeling that squaring that ball might have been the better option. Mahrez arriving onto it, felt the angle was presenting itself. PSG forwards now, they are always still a threat as Mbappe beats one man and then tries to square for Neymar. In comes Stones, in fact rather Walker, to intercept. As long as you've got Neymar and Mbappe as a front two, you can never feel comfortable as a defensive unit. Not that City are doing a great deal of defending, but over-committing would be extremely risky. Still a long way to go in this tie. 5 minutes of regulation time tonight, and the return leg at the Etihad. City's task from here on out is just to make sure that they get the win here. Stones out to the right-hand side with Mahrez. De Bruyne will let this one run through his legs for Gundogan. Switched further left now for Zinchenko. Back infield to Gundogan. Looks to find Mahrez in the box, and a bit of confusion between Baka and Navas. It's gone behind for a City corner. Well, Baka was dropping in. He thought that he had to act to stop Mahrez from getting to the ball. Navas had come to try and claim it himself, and it looks as though actually it's gone for a goal kick. Neither got a touch in the end. The official on the far side did initially point for a corner, but further inspection, there was no contact. De Bruyne has now caught a PSG man late, and all the PSG players surround the referee and ask for a red card. There's nowhere near, on first glance, anything like the foul that had been committed by Idrissa Gana Gueye, and it is just a yellow card for De Bruyne. Have a look at a replay just to see if there is any sort of a case for De Bruyne to be answering here. He comes down onto the foot of Diallo, and I think that's why you'll just get a yellow card for that one. Gueye's tackle was much higher and out of control. De Bruyne escaping with just the yellow card. Referee Felix Brick is now having a word with some other players. He's just charged down the field towards Mbappe. PSG players obviously frustrated. They've thrown away a 1-0 lead. They're down to 10 men. They feel that the game has got away from them. Mbappe into Neymar. Dispossessed by Foden. City breaking with Foden. He beats one and a second. Into the box it goes. The shot on target, but straight at Navas. Well, that would have been some goal from Phil Foden. We've become accustomed to seeing that from him this season. Just couldn't quite take the chance in the end. That would have put the icing on top of the cake tonight in the French capital. Marquinhos. 2.5 minutes of the 90 to go. We are going to be set for 4 or 5 minutes maybe of additional time still. Gundogan dispossesses Neymar. Has he given away the free kick here? Yes, it appears so. PSG get on with it quickly. Neymar. Gundogan comes in again and tackles. This time it is deemed to be a fair one. Blind ball played by Rodri. De Bruyne wanted it out in front, but Rodri had played it behind, and PSG pick up possession again. A foul from City. Rodri, the man responsible for it, brings down Ander Herrera, I think trying to make up for the fact he'd lost possession. Wasn't winning the ball back. He was going to make sure that PSG weren't breaking. Marquinhos has gone forward, as has Kimpembe. Neymar will take it. It's wide on the right-hand side. City will hope they're not caught out here. There's a set piece that saw them concede early in this game. To the far post it goes. City do manage to head away. Herrera will put it back in. Marquinhos glances on. Diallo retrieves it at the byline on the right-hand side, just on the edge of the box. He plays it off Bernardo Silva, but it's come back off Diallo and will be a City goal kick. And that will take us into the final minute of the 90. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 2. Unofficial off-tube studio commentary. We're going to have to retake the goal kick because the ball was moving when Ederson played it. Performed well tonight, City, in their first Champions League semi-final since 2015-16. Looking to land Pep Guardiola his first Champions League trophy since 2010-11. They've shown spirit to get back into the game. De Bruyne slipping with the ball, but recovers to lay it off to Gundogan. 10 men of PSG back defending again on the edge of their own area. Mahrez with possession. Work through to Rodri and Mahrez. Bernardo Silva offers himself up wide right rather. Mahrez walking with the ball at his feet. City happy to be in this sort of position now. Walker. PSG can't get close enough to land a glove on their opponents. 4 minutes is the verdict of additional time. Are we to get any further drama on what's been an action-packed night at the Parc des Princes? Unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Rodri flicks the ball into the box, but it's chested down to Navas by Florenzi. Bowls out quickly to Neymar. PSG will hope they've got one final chance left in the tank. They've won a free kick inside their own half. We're almost done with the first of the 4 minutes as Neymar is staying down here. They need to get himself up. They need every second they can get. There's actually a free kick given for a foul on Ander Herrera. Neymar had continued on with the ball. He was then brought down as well. They have now taken the free kick. It's Herrera. Fouled again by Gundogan this time. And they will send the target men forward. Marquinhos and Kimpembe taking up position on the far left-hand side. City looking to keep a high line, 6 or 7 yards outside their own box. Neymar will drill it into the area. Stones glances it away and Walker will get onto the loose ball and clear downfield. Reaches the halfway line where Verratti brings it down. It's got De Bruyne there, who fouls. Needs to be careful, he's on a yellow card. Verratti has lost his boot but takes the free kick quickly. Nonetheless, PSG down to 9 men now, with Verratti having to put his boot back on. They can't afford to slow the game down. They've put it into touch. City will have the throw and won't be in a rush to restart. Loose ball from Baka down the line. Walker with the ball in hand. He's got Mahrez down the line as an option. Very little else to pick from at the moment. Rodri is trying to offer himself up, and it is just a percentage ball down the line, headed back from where it came by Bernardo Silva, and it's fallen to Neymar. He's got Mbappe in support. The pass is behind Mbappe. Across will come Zinchenko. Good challenge from the Ukrainian. And now City look to break. De Bruyne has got space down the left-hand side. Pass isn't going to find him, though. And Marquinhos will send it back to his goalkeeper, Navas. 2.5 minutes of the 4 gone. City edging ever closer to a win in this first leg. The Champions League semi-final. Ahead of the return next week at the Etihad. Long ball forward by PSG, and Mbappé's nudged off this by Diaz. And we'll go all the way through to Ederson. Well, Mbappé tore apart Barcelona, played a big role in the victory over Bayern Munich. But he's not had a look in tonight against Manchester City. 19 goals in his last 14 games for PSG. A hat-trick and 7 braces. He just has not been able to influence tonight's game. Credit to City for keeping him quiet. Mahrez into the final 30 seconds. Foden tries to turn. He's robbed of the ball by Kimpembe. City win it back with De Bruyne, who will have a strike. It's blazed over the bar. City want the corner and they will get it. It looks as though they'll finish the game on the front foot. Maybe even with another goal. If they can make the most of this situation, I wonder if they'll even put it in the box. Stones and Diaz have come forward. It is taken short, though, to De Bruyne. To Mahrez now, and Bernardo Silva laid off to Foden on the edge of the box. He chucks back onto his right foot, rolls it into the box towards De Bruyne. It's gone beyond him and behind for the goal kick, and that takes us over the 4 minutes. There's a handshake between the two managers, and the first leg looks to be done and dusted. The whistle goes. Manchester City come from behind to claim a first leg victory over Paris Saint-Germain. They have control of this Champions League semi-final tie. At full time it's finished. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester City 2.